Hey everyone, and welcome back to TechG. Imagine walking into your living room and seeing your furniture rearranged, not physically, but digitally. Or attending a live concert from your bedroom. What once sounded like science fiction is now becoming everyday reality thanks to AR and VR. But the real question is, beyond the excitement and futuristic imagery, how exactly are AR and VR affecting our daily lives? From healthcare and education to the way we shop, work, and even interact with each other, AR and VR are no longer just experimental technologies or tools for gamers. They're shaping the world we live in. In this video, we're diving deep into the real-world impact of these technologies. We'll look at powerful examples, surprising applications, and even some of the challenges we must face. So stick around, because by the end of this video, your perception of what's real might just change. Augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality VR are not just new interfaces, they're new experiences. AR adds information to the real world, often through your phone, glasses, or a headset. VR, on the other hand, immerses you in a fully virtual environment. But these are more than just visual tricks. They deeply impact how we process information, how we form memories, and how we interact with our environment. Studies have shown that VR can increase the brain's sense of presence. That is, the feeling of being there. This sense of immersion makes VR extremely effective for everything from training simulations to emotional therapy. Take, for example, how VR is used to treat veterans suffering from PTSD. Patients are placed in simulated environments that mimic the situations where their trauma began. But because it's controlled, therapists can guide the process gradually, helping the brain adapt and reframe memories in a safer context. Meanwhile, AR is reshaping how we handle information in real time. Imagine a mechanic fixing a complex jet engine while a pair of AR glasses overlays instructions directly onto each component. Or a language learner walking through a city with translated signs floating in front of them. These experiences are more than cool, they're cognitively transformational. They tap into how the brain learns best, visually, spatially, and contextually. They reduce mental load by putting the right information in the right place, at the right time. In essence, AR and VR are becoming extensions of the human brain, enhancing memory, focus, learning, and even perception. In medicine, precision can be the difference between life and death, and that's where AR and VR shine. Today, surgeons are using AR headsets that project MRI or CT data directly onto a patient's body in real time. This gives them X-ray vision, allowing them to navigate inside the human body with unprecedented accuracy. For example, AccuVein uses AR to project the location of veins under the skin, making injections easier and safer. In more advanced settings, companies like Medivus are enabling full surgical planning in 3D through AR. VR is also revolutionizing mental health. Virtual therapy environments can simulate social situations for people with anxiety or place trauma survivors in controlled simulations to work through their experiences safely. In one case, a woman with severe agoraphobia, fear of open spaces, began walking through a virtual city in VR therapy. Over time, her brain began treating the simulated exposure as real progress, and eventually, she was able to step outside in the real world with confidence. Beyond therapy, VR is used in pain management. Burn patients, for example, report significantly lower pain levels when immersed in calming virtual environments during wound care. One study showed that VR distraction was more effective than morphine. Even in telemedicine, AR is playing a role. With smart glasses, remote doctors can guide local healthcare workers in real time, superimposing instructions, diagrams, and alerts directly into their field of vision, making complex care more accessible anywhere in the world. Education has long relied on books, lectures, and static materials. But AR and VR are turning learning into something living, moving, and deeply engaging. Instead of reading about ancient Rome, imagine walking its streets in a VR simulation, hearing the bustle of the market, standing under the Colosseum, even witnessing a historical event unfold. That's not just impressive, it's scientifically proven to improve memory retention. With AR, complex topics can be visualized interactively. A biology student can examine a 3D beating heart hovering in mid-air, rotate it, slice it, and understand blood flow better than through a flat diagram. AR apps like Merge EDU and Wonderscope are being used in classrooms across the globe, even in low-income areas where hands-on materials are scarce. One of the most promising areas is inclusive education. Students with disabilities benefit greatly from immersive learning, as VR can simulate environments tailored to their needs, for example, helping children with autism learn social cues in safe, repeatable contexts. The key takeaway? AR and VR don't just make learning cooler, they make it more equitable, personalized, and effective. The pandemic accelerated remote work, but AR and VR are redefining what remote actually means. It's not just about video calls anymore. It's about spatial collaboration. In platforms like Spatial or Microsoft Mesh, colleagues meet in virtual rooms with customizable avatars. They can review 3D models together, present holograms, or brainstorm around a virtual whiteboard, no matter where they are in the world. These tools are especially transformative for industries that rely on physical prototypes like product design, architecture, or manufacturing. Instead of flying teams across the globe to inspect a car prototype, they can walk around it in VR, make changes in real time, and save weeks of work. Meanwhile, AR is revolutionizing hands-on training. In aviation, automotive, and industrial sectors, workers wear AR glasses that overlay instructions, warnings, or sensor data on machinery in real time. Boeing reported that AR training reduced wiring errors by 90% among new technicians. The result? Safer, faster, and more scalable workplaces with lower costs and less room for error. As we move towards spatial computing, these technologies won't just assist workers, they'll empower them. AR and VR are turning shopping into an immersive, personalized journey. For years, online shopping lacked one crucial element: trying before buying. But that's changing. Today, with AR, you can point your phone at your face and see how a lipstick shade looks before buying it. L'Oreal and Sephora use AR face mapping for this. Similarly, furniture brands like IKEA and Wayfair offer AR apps where you can place a full-size 3D sofa in your actual living room, seeing how it fits and whether it matches your decor. In fashion, apps like WannaKicks allow users to virtually try on sneakers with realistic overlays. For eyewear, Warby Parker and Ray-Ban let customers try on glasses using AR, adjusting the angles and lighting to reflect a real-world appearance. VR takes this to a whole new level. Imagine entering a virtual department store, browsing products on shelves, and even speaking with AI-driven avatars that act as sales assistants. Companies are experimenting with VR-based showrooms where customers can explore limited edition items, attend product launches, or even interact with influencers, all inside a digital environment. These technologies don't just create novelty, they solve real e-commerce problems: returns, dissatisfaction, low engagement. By helping customers visualize before purchasing, AR and VR boost conversion rates and reduce uncertainty. The retail experience is becoming more interactive, more efficient, and more human. Architects used to rely on sketches, then 2D software, then 3D renderings. Now, they walk inside their buildings before they exist, thanks to VR. A VR walkthrough allows architects, clients, and engineers to explore building interiors and exteriors from a first-person perspective. Want to know how sunlight will fall in a living room at 4 p.m.? Want to see how a building looks from across the street? You can simulate it all. This isn't just cool, it prevents costly design mistakes. Clients can give feedback before construction even starts. Designers can catch flaws that wouldn't be visible in flat blueprints. In engineering, similar benefits apply. Car companies simulate entire assembly lines in VR. Aerospace engineers test virtual cockpits before building physical mock-ups. On the AR side, construction managers use tablets or headsets to overlay blueprints on real job sites. With apps like Trimble Sight Vision or HoloBuilder, they can see where pipes, wires, or supports should go, overlaid precisely on the real-world scene. These tools are reducing change orders, speeding up communication, and making collaboration between architects, clients, and contractors more seamless. It's a smarter, more connected, and more visual way of building the future. Gaming brought AR and VR into the mainstream, but its impact goes beyond entertainment. It's changing how we move, think, and connect. Take Beat Saber, a VR rhythm game that combines music, movement, and lightsaber-style gameplay. It doesn't just entertain, it's a legitimate workout, helping people burn calories while having fun. Entire platforms like Supernatural and FitXR have turned VR into a fitness tool, especially valuable during the pandemic when gyms were closed. AR games like Pokémon Go changed the way people experienced their environment. Suddenly, millions were walking around their cities, meeting strangers, discovering parks because a digital creature was hidden there. What makes these experiences powerful is their blend of physical and digital. In VR, you feel present in the game world. In AR, the game becomes present in your world. Now, the entertainment industry is using this power for storytelling. Directors are creating immersive films where the viewer walks through the scene. Musicians are hosting VR concerts in 3D venues. Even theater performances are being reimagined as AR-enhanced productions. We're not just watching stories anymore, we're stepping inside them. What does it mean to meet someone in 2025? Could mean shaking hands or sharing a virtual campfire with a friend across the world. In VR Chat, Altspace VR, and Meta Horizon worlds, people don't just talk. They hang out, dance, play games, attend events, and even date. These platforms are creating a new form of social presence that transcends geography. For some, these spaces offer comfort and freedom. People with social anxiety, disabilities, or marginalized identities find it easier to express themselves as avatars in immersive, judgment-free spaces. Meanwhile, AR is changing the way we connect in real life. Snapchat filters, AR face effects, or location-based experiences create new ways to play, flirt, or express emotion. Tinder even experimented with AR date ideas and profile animations. But there's a flip side. As digital identities become more real, questions arise. Can we trust who we're talking to? What if our likeness is stolen and used elsewhere? How do we manage privacy in spaces where eye movement, voice, and even body language are tracked? These are challenges we must solve, but they shouldn't distract from the core truth. AR and VR are redefining what human connection looks and feels like. Every new technology comes with a double edge, and AR/VR is no exception. These tools offer incredible benefits, but they also raise serious ethical questions. First, privacy. AR glasses could potentially record everything the wearer sees, including people who haven't consented. VR platforms track eye movements, hand gestures, and biometric data. Who owns this data? What happens if it's hacked or sold? Second, digital identity. As we spend more time as avatars or using digital filters, how do we maintain authenticity? What happens when deepfake-style avatars are used for deception? Third, addiction and detachment. As virtual worlds become more engaging, some people may begin to prefer them over reality, especially if their real-world circumstances are difficult. This is already happening in countries like South Korea and Japan, where VR addiction clinics are starting to emerge. Finally, accessibility. AR/VR devices are expensive. Internet speed is a barrier. What about communities that don't have access to these tools? Are we creating a new kind of digital divide, where some live in enhanced worlds and others are left behind? These aren't reasons to stop progress, but they are reasons to build it responsibly. Transparent policies, ethical design, and equal access should be part of the AR/VR roadmap. AR and VR aren't just trends, they're tectonic shifts. They are reprogramming our senses, changing how we learn, work, shop, heal, and connect. We're witnessing the early stages of spatial computing, a world where screens fade away and digital information surrounds us in 360 degrees. This future includes AR glasses that replace smartphones, VR classrooms that rival real universities, and hybrid events that blend the real and virtual. But technology alone isn't enough. The real magic will come when we combine AR, VR with AI, 5G, and blockchain, creating systems that are intelligent, decentralized, and deeply immersive. The line between the physical and digital is blurring. But maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe the future of reality is mixed. And maybe, just maybe, it's going to be more human than we think. So if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. We've got more future-focused content coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss it.